Recently, I found myself struggling with something simple. The chair in my school wasn't comfortable for me. It wasn't broken, but the seats were too high, the backrest didn't support my posture. I kept shifting uncomfortably, trying to adjust to it. And that small moment made me wonder, does this mean I have a need? Does this make me different from the so called normal? Am I perhaps differently abled? Hi, and my dream is to create a world where every single object is accessible to everyone. When I say everyone, I truly mean everyone, young or old, abled or differently abled, no matter what. No one should feel excluded just because something wasn't designed with them in mind. Take my experience with the chair. I don't fit the traditional definition of being differently abled, but still, I had a need. At some point, all of us do. Maybe it's a teenager recovering from a sports injury, wincing as he tried to climb a stair, or a parent juggling with baby in one arm and groceries in the other, trying to push a heavy door. These are the moments of inaccessibility, and they show us that the problem isn't with us, it's with the design. So, does this mean we are not normal in those moments? And if every person is unique and different in their own ways, why do we even define things for the normal? Dividing us into different groups makes no sense. After all, we are all humans. You may have noticed that I use the term differently abled instead of disabled. Why? Because the word disabled implies being stopped or restricted from doing something. But I see it differently. Being differently abled means having unique abilities and perspectives that others might not have. For example, I know someone who has lost his sight as a teenager. At first, he struggled with the loss. But over time, his sense of hearing sharpened. He learned to detect a spin of a tennis ball just by the sound. And today, he's a champion, a medalist of the World Blind Tennis Championship. His story shows us that being differently abled isn't about the limitation, it's about the adaptation and discovering new ways to thrive. In some culture, people who are differently abled are seen as a source of wisdom and resilience. What if we adopted this perspective worldwide? This brings me to accessibility. Accessibility isn't just about ramps, elevators, or braille. It's about the practice of making things usable for as many people as possible without forcing anyone to ask for help or make adjustments. Lot of us assume that accessibility is expensive or only benefits a few. In reality, designing for inclusivity often leads to more innovative and cost effective solutions for everyone. Now, think about closed captions, which was originally designed for those who are hearing impaired. But now it has become essential for watching videos in a noisy place or quietly at night. Think about voice recognition softwares, which was initially designed for people with mobility challenges, and now it powers our smart assistants. But how do we think about differently abled individuals? There are two main ways, the medical model and the social model. The medical model focuses on the individual. It sees the person as the problem that needs to be fixed. For example, it might suggest a surgery or a therapy to help someone walk. Sadly, this method would not be an effective solution for issues like my experience with the chair. But that's where another model comes in, the social model. The social model flips this perspective. It doesn't see the person as the problem, it sees the environment as the issue. For instance, instead of asking a person in a wheelchair to adapt to stairs, the social model asks, why don't we have ramps or lifts in the first place? Which model do we want to adopt? And what kind of world do we want to build? Imagine a world where no one has to ask for accommodations because everything is already accessible. A world where ramp isn't just for someone in a wheelchair, but for parents with strollers, delivery workers, or someone who has just sprained an ankle. Accessibility isn't about making life easier for a few. It's about making life better for everyone. My experience with the chair made me realize that accessibility isn't about just the ability, it's about all of us. And more we think about it, the more we can create a world that truly includes everyone. So, let's think differently, let's design differently. Next time you enter a building, check if there is a ramp, an elevator, or an automatic door. When using a product or a service, look around. Ensure that it accommodates different needs. If not, ask yourself, who is being left out? And more importantly, what small change can we create? Because when we create for inclusivity, we don't just support the needs of today, we build a world that's ready for all of us now and in the future. Thank you.